All right. I cannot match that French pronouncing genius. I bet Aaron Gibbs can, Gibbs Wealth Management, Mitch Rochelle, Microtrends Advisors founding partner. Guys, welcome to you both, and thank you for coming today. Aaron, it is interesting that, you know, we're doing just fine with these reopenings and certainly vaccinations. There are states, you know, that are having some stubborn problems, New Jersey among them, where I am. But the fact of the matter is, we're doing a heck of a lot better than I think any other country on the planet, because we've already written off about 80% of those countries to travel to for the time being. What do you make of all that?
Yeah, when you look at how well the vaccine was distributed, and also just, you know, in particular, the U.S. just happened to get a little luckier with getting the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, which have had the least problems, out first, with the most production in the U.S. and the least production problems. So certainly it's impressive at how well these two companies and just the ability to distribute has done for the reopening. And you know, we're really going to see, we're looking at more domestic travel for quite some time.
You know, Mitch, I think she's exactly right. I think that the emphasis will be on domestic travel. I should stress, and we were checking this, that the State Department advisory is not an order. In other words, by keeping the United Kingdom, Ireland, Norway, Denmark, some of these other countries on that list, it does not mean you can't go there. They're just recommending against it. And that usually is all travelers need to hear. To get back to Aaron's point of just saying in the United States, because even Canada is written off for the time being. What do you make of the global economic impact of all of this?
I think it's significant, Neil. And you just look at it domestically, and this is information and data from the airline industry themselves, so it may be a little self-serving. But they say the size of the airline industry, if you look at all of the industries that are related, is 1.7 trillion, employing 10 million people. So if you take that and then extrapolate that across the world, tourism and travel is very vital to many countries' economies, and it's certainly vital to ours. So I think that once you start imposing restrictions, and in some places they're probably stronger than restrictions in some other countries, I think you're curtailing economic growth. I wouldn't say that our country relies exclusively on tourism and travel, but there are some countries that do. And for those countries, the hole that they're finding themselves dug in may take a generation to dig out of.
You know, Aaron, you think about it, almost everything else looks boffo, right? I mean, the retail sales are up 9.8% in the latest period. What's happening on housing, nothing short of a boom. In our last hour, we were hearing about bidding wars, even in high tax areas, high real estate tax areas, going for houses where people or buyers are foregoing appraisals just to land the house that they want to get. And then there are the earnings, the corporate earnings. I know we're very early in the season on this, but 30% or more of them have handily beaten expectations by margins we have not seen in decades. So all that's good. The virus-related travel, restrictions, not so good. How do you see this playing out?
Well, it's interesting when you look at sort of the travel areas and the travel industries. So, breaking out between airlines, hotels, cruises, most of the travel industry, Wall Street expects it to be at similar profit levels by 2023. So hotels are going to expected to eke out a very small profit this year, but airlines still have losses. And it's really just the cruise ships that aren't expecting to return anywhere near similar profit levels, even past 2025. And then Wall Street just gives up on expecting profits. So it looks like it's going to take about 2 years. Restaurants are already sort of back in the business because obviously that's not so focused on travel, but it's just about getting out and opening up the economy. And so then the industries that are more related to traveling further abroad, they take a little longer to recover. But everybody's pretty much on board that 2023, you should see similar profits to what we had in 2019.
All right. It's a long time to wait for that, if you think about that. Aaron, thank you.
Yep.
Mitch, thank you. I'll be seeing you a little